Tuesday, 7th of March today, and I have a half marathon coming up this weekend, which I'm quite looking forward to. I'm looking forward to doing it to see where my fitness is. This race is probably going to inform my training over the last 7 weeks more than anything else. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been very consistent with what I've been doing. I'm back working with my coach about 8 weeks now, and over those 8 weeks, I've went from about 40 to 50 to 60. And then over the last 5 weeks, I've been hitting about 70, between 70 and 80K. I think I've done 70, 77, 72, 77 again. And then this week is, although it's a taper week, I'm going to do quite a bit of running because I don't have a huge amount of taper form, seeing as I was only getting up to 80 mile or 80K or 50 miles a week. So I'm in taper mode for this half marathon this weekend, and that's going to consist of regular running every day this week with a couple of strides here and there, and just the strides I use to just kind of activate those fast twitch muscles, keep the legs turning over and keep that lactate at a low between the really fast running and the really slow running. Nothing in the middle, no kind of workout or tempo runs this week. Saturday, the day before the race, will just be a 35-minute really easy run, and then all guns will go on Sunday. My plan for the race is just to get out and try and hit some good splits, try and run at a fairly steady pace, and I think I'll be around about 140, between 140 and 145, I would imagine. If I'm under 140, I'm going to be really, really pleased, but I don't think I will be. And if I'm around 145, I'll be quite happy. Coming into this training, my running fitness had dropped off so much from what it used to be. And now that I'm back running with my coach, I feel a lot of confidence again in my running. I feel like I'm definitely going in the right direction for the first time in a long time. And I know now that just being part of the process and just following along with the simple things that you need to do is the way forward. I've been doing endurance fitness running for about 20 years now, and there's 5 things that I've really learned and that I'm relearning in this process that are really helping me along with my training at the moment. The first thing I learned, and it's probably the most important thing, is you just got to stop trying to make everything be perfect in terms of your training. I realise now, and I've realised for a long time, but I kind of accept it now, is that weeks are always different. I almost never hit the exact training that my coach gives me every week, but I know that I can just kind of mess with it every day or two. Sometimes I miss 5 minutes at the end of a run. Other days I can add in 5 minutes at the end of another run. Stuff like that used to get in my mind before, and it used to kind of make me think that I was a bit of a failure because I wasn't able to do that. But now I accept the fact that you just can't be perfect with your training, especially when you have work and family life as well to mix up with that. And I find that accepting that and just realizing that your training isn't going to be perfect really frees you up and opens you up to just kind of accept things as they are. And that's definitely helped me progress, and it's definitely helping my running get a little bit better. The second thing I learned, and that's kind of moving on from the first thing, is that sometimes failure can set you free. I've done races before, like that marathon I did last year was, I suppose on paper it would be a failure in terms of the time that I would have done in the past and the times that I did then, but actually I really enjoyed it, and I knew going into it that it wasn't going to be what I would want it to be, and I almost felt like a liberated from that. It felt that I was able to enjoy it much more, and I've brought that forward now, and I'm using that in my weekly training. Knowing that I will fail on trying to do all the stuff that my coach gives me just because life gets in the way sometimes. Accepting that and realizing that it can be, again, like I said earlier, a little bit liberating. It doesn't have to be pinpoint perfect on Strava, all the different workouts and all the different times. The third piece of advice that I would give anybody that I have learned over the last 20 years is just give yourself a shot. Just get out there and do the session, whatever it is, do the long run, whatever it is, do the tempo, do the easy runs, do whatever it is you have on the plan, and give yourself a shot. If you miss a day because you can't go out, or you're feeling really low or feeling miserable and you don't go for whatever reason, don't give up. Give yourself a shot, get out the next day, go again. It's always worth going again. And it's on those days where you go again that often you find that you've become more vibrant and that you've become more determined because you don't want to miss another day like you did the day before. So give yourself a shot. If you fail, if you miss out on a day, don't give up. Pick yourself up and try again. The fourth piece of advice then I'll give on top of that is not to get greedy. Is that when you do start to feel that fitness building, which I am at the moment, there's little glimpses of it. Sometimes when you're out on the run, you could be out on an easy run, and because you feel your fitness come along, you think, all right, I'll just pick up the pace, I'll just go a little bit harder, I'll just do a little bit, I'll add a little bit into each run. But I would say don't do that. I've done that before in the past, and that can lead to injuries. It can lead to demotivation, because in a day or two's time, surely you'll feel that you won't have that motivation to do that, and then you'll make it harder for you to go out in that run because you think you'll need to match the pace that you did on the day where you were feeling greedy. So I would say just as much as you can, stick to the plan, stick to the process. It's a long, slow, arduous build, but when you get there, it's well worth it. If you start getting greedy in the middle and trying to climb that mountain a little bit quicker than you should, quite often you will fail, you'll stop, you'll get disinterested, you'll get injured, you'll get sick, you'll get whatever, and you'll end up going back to the start. Believe me, this has happened to me countless times. And this time, I'm really keeping to the front of my mind is to not get greedy. I'm trying to go through the process and just work through those sessions as best I can. And then the last piece of advice I would give to anybody is that sometimes it just happens and sometimes it just doesn't happen in races. This weekend, I definitely have the potential, I definitely have the fitness to run a 140. I definitely have the fitness and I definitely have the capacity to run a 145. When I wake up in the morning on the Sunday, I will almost always know instinctively when I get out of bed that morning whether it's going to be a good day or a difficult day. I don't like saying a bad day, but a day where you just know you're going to be suffering. I'll know as soon as that race starts whether it's going to be on or not. And sometimes when you just feel low, you feel sluggish, you feel down, you just have to accept it and work on through. At the weekend I was doing a long run, and when I went into I was doing a 30-minute warm-up and then 60 minutes steady and then a 30-minute cool down. About 2 kilometers or 10 minutes into the 60 minutes of steady, I felt awful. I just really wanted to stop. I just thought, I'll just stop the watch and I'll just slow it down and just go easy the rest of the way. I'll send my coach a message saying, look, for whatever reason it wasn't on. And I just thought to myself, no, I'll just plug on for another little bit more. I'll try and just get some positive thoughts going through my mind. I won't think about the rest of the 50 minutes that were remaining in the steady session. I just said to myself, I'll just think about this kilometer. I'll just think about keeping the pace, which was at like 7:30 per mile or 4:40 per kilometer. I'll just thought to myself, I'll just concentrate on keeping it at that pace just for the remainder of this kilometer or mile, and then I'll see how I go after that. And then sure enough, after a minute or two, I actually felt back into it. I got back into the pace. And then it turned out for the last 2 miles of that hour run were actually the fastest 2. So again, it's just to be aware and to know that some days it's just on, some days it's just not. And on the days where it's not, you've just got to suck it up and just try and get through it. There's a big difference between listening to your body and stopping because you're going to be doing some damage or you're just not going to get any benefit from it. And then the other side, you got to realize that sometimes you're just feeling low and sluggish and lazy and your brain is telling you to stop when there's no actual physiological reason why you should stop. And that's knowing the difference between that just comes with experience. It comes with running. It comes with knowing your body and, you know, the whole listen to your body. But sometimes it is hard because sometimes you just want to stop and sometimes you just got to keep going. And it's knowing the differences when you want to stop and when you should stop and when you want to stop and when you should keep going. There's no golden hard fast rule as to when that doesn't happen. The only thing you can do is by consistent training over and over and over for years and years, you get to know the difference between when you're just feeling sorry for yourself and when there's something actually wrong and you need to slow down. That's about it with my 5 pieces of advice. Anyway, I shall let you know how the run goes this weekend, guys. But remember, in the meantime, run far, run fast, but most of all, run sensible.